I was driving to my wife's graduation party, feeling like the luckiest man alive, when everything shattered. I'd paid $48,000 for that fancy venue, convinced I was giving her the perfect night. But when I arrived, the doors were locked, the place was dark, and she finally answered her phone with a cruel laugh. "I guess I didn't want you there." The true gut punch came minutes later on Instagram. There she was, radiant in the expensive dress I bought, kissing her senior partner, Dominic Kane, and thanking him for being her sponsor through law school. It wasn't just betrayal, it was public, premeditated humiliation for a tuition bill that I, her husband, had fully funded. The shock gave way to a cold, frightening clarity. The fool in me died on that sidewalk. The businessman took over. For years, I had meticulously documented every financial detail of our lives, and now, that obsessive precision was my weapon. Well, I didn't know that months earlier, I had secretly bought a 90% stake in Dominic's legal consulting firm, Kane Dynamics. Dominic was just a high-paid employee, and the multi-million-dollar company that formed the foundation of their future actually belonged to me. That night, I started the countdown. I zeroed out her joint accounts, canceled her corporate credit cards, and reversed the payments for the party and her tuition reimbursement. Then, I sold my 90% stake in Kane Dynamics for a quick $195 million to Blackstone Legal Partners. I knew Dominic would walk into his office on Monday morning as a disposable asset. The next day, my phone exploded with 156 missed calls. Li's frantic texts went from confusion to full-blown panic as she realized her entire financial life had been personally shut down. When her assistant, Maya, came to my door, completely shell-shocked, begging me to fix the chaos, I told her simply that I had just stopped paying for things. I drafted an ultimatum, signed the papers waiving all claims to my assets, and, more importantly, post a public, humiliating statement admitting that I was the sole sponsor of her education, thereby correcting her social media lie. When Li finally came to see me, pale and defeated, she tried to negotiate, claiming she felt overshadowed by my wealth. I didn't budge. I revealed that I owned Dominic's company, showing her the wire transfers. Her humiliation was complete when she realized she'd thanked him for spending my money on her while I was funding his entire career. She finally signed the documents. Weeks later, Dominic was out of a job and working in Chicago, while I had moved to Portland to work for a nonprofit, finally understanding the difference between prestige and value. My life, however, was just beginning. I took the $195 million and invested $15 million into a brilliant legal tech startup, Lint Technologies, run by a dedicated prodigy named Ava. I now spend my days building something real with people who value substance over appearance. I didn't win by destroying them. I won by freeing myself to finally invest in a life of my own making. After supporting her for years, paying for every aspect of her life, was my decision to dismantle her entire financial existence a justifiable act of self-preservation or an overreach of vengeance? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Share your thoughts about this story in the comments.